I'm going to show you an example of a homeschool portfolio. This particular example is of a preschool portfolio. It was our practice portfolio that I did first with my son. And you can get a 2.5-inch binder. That's what we found worked best to fit everything in it. You can use Microsoft Word to put a fun cover on. We just put pictures of things he enjoyed, favorite books, movies, and memories of his year. And you can label the side so that when you have your portfolios on the bookshelf, you can just immediately see what year it is for. The homeschool laws in Florida simply require that you keep a log of educational activities, readings that the child has done and that you have done to the child, and also that you keep examples of work for each subject area: reading, writing, math, science, and social studies, things like that. Of course, as a homeschool parent, really it is up to you what amount of time, what subjects, and what you'll teach. So it's just basically a log of whatever you happen to be doing. No one's probably going to look at it, but of course the school board could request to look at it, and you are supposed to keep it for at least 2 years. You'll probably want to keep it longer because I think it's a great memory book as well. So basically, you're going to want to make tabs for each subject area: reading, writing, math. As they get older, if you get more detailed, you could have more detailed tabs. And I'll quickly just show you the requirements. Here's an example of a read aloud log. So I made these on Microsoft Word, but you could just use a regular sheet of notebook paper. And then I also kept a reading log of what he read to me this year, but last year in preschool, I just copied the table of contents to show which little books, little readers he read in preschool and some other things like that. And then for math, that's really a key thing I want to share with you. You want to just make it easy on yourself. If you used a curriculum or a book that has a table of contents, just copy that table of contents out of the curriculum book and then date when you did each of those lessons. Or if you skipped it and didn't find it necessary, you can write skip, okay? So now let's go back to the beginning. So I like to make it a memory book as well. So I started a tradition that each year I will do their handprint, footprint, write their shoe size, their weight, their height, and write their age and the date that we did that. So we can compare that each year. You could also do it on the copy machine. He asked to do that. And then during calendar time, we used a Velcro calendar during pre-K, but the second semester of pre-K, I began to use this fingerprint calendar I found on Teachers Pay Teachers, where they use their fingerprints to make scenes. And the maker of this calendar gives you a page that shows examples of what kind of scenes you could make for each month. And then, he checks off the date. And it's also a great way to keep track of things you did. You can write, play dates or special events that you had each day. So we have a calendar. Then I have my schedule. What did our days look like in our daily and weekly schedule? And I had my curriculum overview, what I chose for each subject area. So I made this template and, gave some details of what books and plans I had. And then I made a goal sheet, wrote goals as he accomplished them and stickers. Okay. And then I wrote summer lesson plans. None of this is required, okay? This is just the extra stuff, awards they might have gotten if you were tracking goals, like their counting or their facts. Okay. Pictures for memories, things like that. Okay. So then, of course, I showed you reading. We have a reading log. You can have, especially, this year he wasn't in pre-K anymore, he was in kindergarten, so we kept a reading log for him as well as what I read to him. And anything else you did for reading. Like in pre-K, we read this book called Nature Reader, and it was a really neat little book. And I copied the front cover and the table of contents and, wrote when we read each of the letter stories. So it was really cool. I had an animal you learned about for each letter. So it was like a little unit. So each week we did 1 or 2 letters and read about that animal. And then they had comprehension checks at the end of each nonfiction portion we read about the animal. And so I could show how he did on his comprehension. Okay, so that was reading. And then for writing, we did animals from that book that I just showed you. And whatever animal we learned about, we traced the letter that matched the animal. So for alligator, we traced A and did a sentence. And then we did the animal that matched the book, an alligator shaped A, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is fulfilling that requirement and showing some examples of his work in preschool. Okay, so that was writing and reading. And then for math, as I showed you, you're going to want to make it easy on yourself. Just copy the table of contents from the curriculum. If you didn't have a table of contents and you made your own math plans, I would just keep, similar to a reading log, a little math log on a sheet of notebook paper, or I made some logs on Microsoft Word, and you can just write each day what lesson you did, or if it wasn't an actual lesson, you just write, we worked on, whatever it is. Or you can show the worksheets. So that I did both. I have my table of contents, logging what lessons we did and the dates, but I also, whatever worksheets came out of the curriculum, I went ahead and put his work into here. And then you have science and social studies, which was real light in preschool. It's mostly just reading books and, science through outdoor time. So I really didn't have any paper stuff except a few little things. All right, so that was preschool, very simple, but this will supply you with an idea of how to move forward. And after this year, I'll show his kindergarten portfolio. I hope that helped.